Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss a beautiful poem named as The Brook, which was composed by Lord Alfred Tennyson. Uh, but before going to discuss the poem, I would like to mention that some changes have been taken place to your new English subject. You might have known that some new chapters, um, near about 5 new chapters have been added to your existing syllabus, but the grammar sections uh, um, remains almost unchanged, which mean that whatever was taught in last year, the same will be taught to you this year also. So this is the small information which I want to share with you. Let's begin the poem, The Brook. Before going to read the poem, I would like to give a brief introduction about the poet Lord Alfred Tennyson. You know that he was born in 1809 in Lincolnshire in Great Britain. His poetry is noted for its pictorial quality and musical beauty. He was a poet laureate for over 40 years. पोएट लरेट कहले सी होचंती जड़े राजकवि भाव में 40 वर्ष धरी दीर्घ 40 वर्ष ऊर्ध समय धरी प्रसिद्धि लाभ करते. ही वाज वन ऑफ द ग्रेटेस्ट पोएट ड्यूरिंग द रेन ऑफ क्वीन विक्टोरिया. क्वीन विक्टोरिया राजत्व समय बहुत जड़े विशिष्ट कवि थे. सो ड्यूरिंग दैट पीरियड मोस्ट ऑफ द पीपल दे यूज टू रीड नोवेल इंस्टेड ऑफ रीडिंग पोएम्स. बट when Lord Alfred Tennyson started to write poem, drastically people have changed their habit to read poem instead of reading novel. ସେହି ସମୟରେ ନୋବେଲ ବହୁତ ପ୍ରସିଦ୍ଧି ଲାଭ କରିଥିଲେ. କ୍ୱିନ୍ ଭିକ୍ଟୋରିଆଙ୍କ ରାଜତ୍ୱ କାଳରେ ଲୋକମାନେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଲେଜର ଟାଇମ୍ ପାଉଥିଲେ, ଯେତେବେଳେ ଫ୍ରି ଟାଇମ୍ ପାଉଥିଲେ, ସେହି ସମୟରେ କ'ଣ କରୁଥିଲେ ନା ପ୍ରାୟ ସମୟ ନୋବେଲ ପଢ଼ୁଥିଲେ, କିନ୍ତୁ ପୋଏମ୍ ପ୍ରତି କାହାର ସେତେ ଆଗ୍ରହ ନଥିଲା. ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ସମୟରେ ଯେମିତି ଆମେ ହ୍ୱାଟ୍ସଆପ୍, ଫେସବୁକ୍, ଟ୍ୱିଟର, ଇନଷ୍ଟାଗ୍ରାମ ଏସବୁ ଜିନିଷ ଆମେ ଆଜିକାଲି ୟୁଜ୍ କରୁଛନ୍ତି, ସେହି ସମୟରେ ଲୋକମାନେ ତାଙ୍କର ଲେଜର ସମୟକୁ ନୋଭେଲ ପଢ଼ିବାରେ ଅତିବାହିତ କରୁଥିଲେ. ବଟ୍ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଲର୍ଡ଼ ଆଲଫ୍ରେଡ୍ ଟେନିସନ୍ ପୋଏମ୍ ଲେଖିବା ଆରମ୍ଭ କଲେ, ସେତେବେଳେ ଲୋକଙ୍କର ପଢ଼ିବା ହାବିଟ୍ରେ ମଧ୍ୟ ବ୍ୟାପକ ପରିବର୍ତ୍ତନ ଦେଖାଦେଇଥିଲା. ଲୋକମାନେ ବହୁତ ଆକର୍ଷିତ ହୋଇଥିଲେ ପୋଏମ୍ ପଢ଼ିବା ପାଇଁ. ଲୋକଙ୍କର ପଢ଼ାର ଯେଉଁ ଦୃଷ୍ଟିଭଙ୍ଗୀ ଥିଲା ତାକୁ ମଧ୍ୟ ଚେଞ୍ଜ କରିପାରିଥିଲେ ଲର୍ଡ଼ ଆଲଫ୍ରେଡ୍ ଟେନିସନ୍. ତ ୟୁ ମାଇଟ୍ ହାଭ୍ ଆସ୍କ ଏ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚନ୍, ସାର୍, ହ୍ୱାଇ ହି ୱାଜ୍ ସୋ ଫେମସ୍? So many poets were there at that time. So why Lord Alfred Tennyson was so famous? Because of his writing styles. In this context, I want to give you justice that the writing style was different from other poets. So that is why he was famous during the period of Queen Victoria. And another information I want to share with you, that you see, Lord is there before the name of Alfred Tennyson. So you might have asked that, sir, why Lord is here before the name of Alfred Tennyson? So in this context, I would like to say that Lord is a title given to the eminent personalities during the reign of Queen Victoria. क्वीन का राजत्व समय जो मैंने एमिनेंट पर्सनालिटीज थिले, जो मैंने बहुत प्रसिद्ध थिले, प्रसिद्ध व्यक्तित्व अधिकारी थिले, से लॉर्ड टाइटल दिया जाउतला. ठीक से ही भाव में लॉर्ड टेनिसन को, जो आल्फ्रेड टेनिसन को मध्य लॉर्ड उपाधि दिया जाइथिला. तो वर्तमान देखिबा, लेट्स सी द यूनिकनेस ऑफ द पोएम द ब्रुक. ये ब्रुक रे कौन यूनिकनेस रही? कारण तुम जानिथिबो, गोटे पोएम रचना बा पोएम जितेबाला जन राइटर लिखती, बहुत कथा को आखि आगे रखिकी पोएम लिखा जाए थाए. तो ताकू गोटे ब्यूटीफुल पोएम करने से भाव में sometimes the poet uses different kind of literary device to make a poet beautiful one or melodious one. So in case of Lord Alfred Tennyson, you also find that he has also used so many poetic device, so many literary poetic device. Remember, literary poetic device to make the poem a beautiful one. So there are different kinds of poetic device such as personification, alliteration, repetition, inversion, onomatopoeia, anaphora, antithesis, sanditon. So, and finally rhyming scheme. So these are the poetic device which has been used by Lord Alfred Tennyson to make a successful one, to make a beautiful one, to make a melodious one. So the first look at the first stanza of the poem. You will find that there is absolute rhyming scheme followed in this first stanza. Look at the throughout the poem is rhyming scheme is followed throughout this full poem. Okay, so I would like to say that look at the first line. Horn is absolutely rhyming with the third line, forn. Similarly, in the same way, in the same pattern, the second line, say the last word of second line, you see the last word of second line, that is Sally. Sally is completely or absolutely rhyming with a valley, the word valley. The last line of the last word of the fourth line. So in the throughout the poem, you will find the rhyming scheme. There is absolute rhyming scheme. There is absolute rhyming scheme throughout the poem. So this is the uniqueness. This is the uniqueness of the poem. That is why he was so famous during the reign of Queen Victoria. So uh, let's start the poem. So let's begin. Our country is a land of rivers. Yes, our country is a full of land of rivers. Some rivers are big and some are small. Yes. Have you ever seen the place of the origin of a river? Definitely. Most of the rivers rise in the form of small streams in hills or mountains. ଆମେ ଜାଣିଛନ୍ତି ଯେ ଝରଣାଟି ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆରମ୍ଭ ହୁଏ, ଝରଣାଟି ବା ନଦୀର ସୃଷ୍ଟି ହେଉଛି ଆରମ୍ଭ ହେଉଛି ଝରଣାରୁ। ଝରଣାଟି ଗୋଟେ ଛୋଟ ପାହାଡ଼ କିମ୍ବା ପର୍ବତରୁ ଗୋଟେ ଛୋଟ ଆକାରରେ ବହି ବହି ଆସିଥାଏ ଏବଂ ଶେଷରେ ସେ ଗୋଟେ ନଦୀରେ ମିଶି ଗୋଟେ ବିରାଟ ନଦୀର ରୂପରେଖ ନେଇଥାଏ। This small stream sometimes fall into big rivers. A stream in the course of its journey covers a long distance and passes through plains, valleys and forests. ଗୋଟେ ଝରଣା କ'ଣ କରିଥାଏ ନା ଯେତେବେଳେ ନଦୀ ସହିତ ମିଶିବାକୁ ଯାଇଥାଏ ତା ବାଟରେ ଚଲା ପଥରେ ଅନେକ ଜିନିଷ ସେ କଭର କରିକି ଯାଇଥାଏ। କେତେବେଳେ ପ୍ଲେନ୍ସ କଭର କରିଥାଏ ତ କେତେବେଳେ ପୁଣି ହିଲ୍ସ କଭର କରିଥାଏ, କେତେବେଳେ ଭ୍ୟାଲିଜ୍, କେତେବେଳେ ଫରେଷ୍ଟ। ଏଭଳି ଭାବରେ ଅନେକ ରାସ୍ତା କଭର କରି ଶେଷରେ ଯାଇ ସେ ନଦୀରେ ମିଶିଥାଏ, ତା ଲକ୍ଷ୍ୟସ୍ଥଳରେ ପହଞ୍ଚିଥାଏ। ତୁମେମାନେ ଜାଣିଥିବ ଭଲ ଭାବରେ ଗୋଟେ ନଦୀର ଲକ୍ଷ୍ୟ ହେଉଛି ଦ ଡେଷ୍ଟିନେସନ୍ ଅଫ୍ ଏ ଷ୍ଟ୍ରିମ୍ ଇଜ୍ ଟୁ ମିଟ୍ ଦ ରିଭର। ଗୋଟେ ନଦୀର ଲକ୍ଷ୍ୟସ୍ଥଳ ହେଉଛି ଗୋଟେ ଝରଣାର ଲକ୍ଷ୍ୟସ୍ଥଳ ହେଉଛି ନଦୀ ସହିତ ମିଶିବା। And the story it is based on the nature. Basically it is based on a nature because Lord Alfred Tennyson was a nature lover. You might have remembered that he was a nature lover, and this poem is also based on the natural scenario. Now look at the poem. Read the poem silently. You may refer to the notes and glossary to understand the text in a better way. So first thing, you have to read it silently as far as possible, and if you unable to understand a particular word, then you can refer to your glossary to understand the poem in a better way. So first begin the first stanza. I come from haunts of coot and hern. I make a sudden sally and sparkle out among the fern to becker down a valley. So this first line, so this very first stanza says that I come from haunts of coot and hern. Here you see that I refers to a small stream. स्मॉल स्ट्रीम कहले कौन ना जोटे झरणा ये आई को रेफर करुच्ची बा बुझाऊँगी गोटे स्मॉल स्ट्रीम को. सो हियर द स्ट्रीम इज पर्सनिफाइड from the very beginning of the poem. You will find a poetic device what is known as personification. Personification means when a non-human object or animal is given abilities to behave like a human being. Here the brook tells its own story. Here the brook talks like a human being. So the brook is here personified, the stream is personified. So I come from haunts of coot and horn. So I starts, I origin from a particular place which is frequently visited by the water birds like coot and horn. कुट आउ हर्न जो कहुई से तार अर्थ हूँ दुईटा प्रकार वाटर बर्ड देखा मिलता है एवं जोटा कि कोल्ड कंट्री देखा मिलता है.